you've just found what seems to be the perfect short-term rental property. The price is right, the location looks great, and you're already picturing all the 5-star reviews and the back-to-back bookings. But there's still that one big question, keeping you up awake all night long. Will actually anyone book it? That cozy cottage or sleek downtown flat might look like the winner, but Airbnb demand isn't always as simple as it seems. Some of the best looking properties barely get any attention whatsoever, while average looking places in the right area become booking machines. So how do you make sure you don't buy a flop? Well, you need data. Measuring demand for a potential Airbnb means looking beyond basic stats like annual occupancy. A lot of new hosts assume that if a market has a 70% occupancy rate, it's an absolute goldmine. But you need to look well beyond that because it doesn't tell the full story. You need to understand the full picture, how things change seasonally, what the average nightly rate is, how much revenue you can expect per night available, and even how many properties you're competing with. So let's break this down together. In the short-term rental world, demand means how many people are actively looking for and booking places in a certain area. Occupancy rate is one way to measure this. It shows how much of the time the property is being booked. But here's the catch. Just because your location is popular doesn't mean your Airbnb will thrive. Seasonality is a measure of how consistent bookings are in your market. A beach town might be fully booked in July and August, but sit empty all winter. This is an example of a highly seasonal market. Meanwhile, a boring business district might get consistent bookings all year round. That's a low seasonality market. For example, if you're looking at Park City, Utah, you'd see that demand spikes big time from January to March, prime ski season. But after that, well, demand drops off really fast. And if you weren't aware, you'd assume it was strong all year round, but actually it's super seasonal. We'll take Indio, California. It's not really a seasonal destination, but come April when Coachella and Stagecoach hit, bookings skyrocket through the roof. That's event-driven demand. People book so far in advance, prices go way up during those special windows. It's a completely different dynamic from somewhere like Park City. Even within just one market, the demand can change dramatically due to the submarkets. In the Boston market, for instance, Newton sees a big spike in bookings around May. Because of graduation season, it's close to multiple major universities. But Salem, just a few miles away, doesn't get that bump, but instead it explodes in October, all thanks to its Halloween tourism. So if you're only looking at Boston as a whole, you're really missing out on the real story. That's why it's so helpful to analyse at the submarket level, so you can see exactly where demand is coming from, and most importantly, why. But you can't ignore the competition. A lakefront home in a touristy spot sounds wonderful, until you realise there are more than 15 other similar homes nearby. That's why it's so important to look at supply as well as demand. And finally, once you understand what's driving demand, whether it's seasonality, events, tourism, or business travel, you can start making smarter decisions. You'll know when to raise prices, when to expect lower bookings, and even how to time your property maintenance around slower months. You'll be able to choose the right neighbourhoods to invest in and the right kinds of listings to offer. Bottom line, don't guess, use data. Now, if you're overwhelmed by all the numbers, occupancy, ADR, RevPAR, trust me, you're not alone. Many new investors are, but tools like Airbnb can really help make sense of it all. With real-time data, you can actually see how bookings are trending in your target market, what revenue properties are earning, and how prices change throughout the entire year, and how competitive your area really is. You can check out Airbnb in the link in the description below. Airbnb investing isn't just about picking a pretty place. It's about knowing what people are booking, when, and why, and turning that knowledge into profit. But don't forget that data is king. And if you found value in this video, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, it's a bye from us.